Okay, I will call this meeting to order. Roll call has been taken electronically and we'll adjust it if anybody shows up a little bit late. This meeting of the Ripon Area School District Board of Education has been properly noticed in accordance with the open meeting law and state statute 19.84 and related legal references. Our district vision, one of Wisconsin's finest school districts, fostering excellence for all through innovation. Do we have any comments? Written or?
We do not have any written comments. Let me just check on the sign-up sheet, please. And no visitor sign-ups.
Right. Anybody have any requests to adjust the agenda? If not, we will accept it as presented. And we'll move on to announcement of contributions to the district.
All right. I wanted to announce that the Emmanuel United Methodist Church donated a variety of clothing and shoes valued over $250 to Barlow Park, Germany, for the students in need. And I happened to be there the day that they came in, and it was pretty nice of them to do that. And they did note that there might be some items in there that might be too big for our littlest students that we can send up to Murray Park. So it may end up that they contribute to both schools.
And while we're talking about contributions to the district, just a reminder, the Ripon War is coming up. It's going to run November 13th through the 17th this year. We have really outstanding participation from our teachers. We have strong participation from our administration. It would be great if we could have really strong participation from the board. It would be awesome if we could have unanimous participation from the board. So watch Facebook. I'm happy to send out additional communication on that, but that would be a great goal for us this year.
Thank you. So, you're up.
All right. As we're
This is the start of the new year. Why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourselves?
I'm Ari Brooks. I'm the student council president. I'm Charlie Bruins, and I'm the student council vice president. All right. So since we've been a few weeks into school, I'm a member of a few different clubs. I've been seeing that just a lot of new freshman participation has been happening, which is really nice. Mr. K made a note that he told all freshmen to participate in as many clubs as they can, so that's been really nice to see. Next week is homecoming, so we've done a lot of preparations for homecoming, especially this week, to make next week run as smoothly as possible. Fall sports are also underway pretty recently. I'm a member of the volleyball team. We've been having a pretty good season so far. I know soccer is doing really well, tennis is doing well. It's just really nice to see people going to those events and supporting all of the different sports. Yeah, going off of that, our student body participation has been very active. A lot of the students have been coming to all these games, volleyball, football, and it's really nice to see everyone just coming out and supporting and being loud as well. Also, senior participation in college classes, not only seniors but also a few juniors have been participating in a variety of different college classes, whether it be online or even on campus. And the last thing we wanted to talk about was the newly started phone policy that we have at the high school. Personally, for me, all the classes I'm in, it's been enforced. It seemed to be helping. Kids are getting their work done, focused during the class period, so it's been going on.
Would you explain what it is? Yeah.
Pretty much, there's structured time, and then there's like open time. Open time is where you can have your phone. Structured is when it's for the class. So basically, when you walk into a class, you have to put your phone in a cell phone caddy as your way of attendance, and then it just sits there unless there's a reason that you need to be on your phone.
Or you move into open
Or you
time.
move to open time. Which is usually like the last 5 minutes of class, like that. Otherwise, you just grab it on your way out.
Any questions or comments for the two of them?
How did that generate, I mean, how was that brought up, or how did
The
that?
phone policy?
Mhm.
It was something new that Mr. K started this year.
Yeah, it came from, I guess mainly from staff. I met with staff at the end of last year, you know, this being my new first year. And one of the things they asked was, let's do something about cell phones. So we always had a policy, it's not the use, it's the misuse. So we kind of did a little bit of a compromise. You can still have your phone with you, but during structured time, that's when it would be disrespectful to have that phone on you.
So is the caddy, it's when you walk in, you said? or-
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
usually hanging on the wall.
Oh, hang on, one.
Our staff has, we were at 100% consistency as that went around. Yep.
Yes.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay, but there's no reason to.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to action items, and we only have one. It'd be to consider the right of first refusal request from the city for the property on the north side of town. Is there a motion to put it on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Andy, second by Denise. Any discussion? So we talked about this last week, or last month, excuse me. Any further discussion from last month?
It's nice to see the map included, isn't it? I mean, but, so when we were on the board before, we had some discussions about that.
Yeah.
Ourselves.
Seeing no more discussion, I'll call for the vote.
I'm not getting that vote button.
You're not hitting the vote button. Try refreshing.
I did make, I mean, I pushed the, told me to push the same button. Oh, thank you. No problem.
There you have it. Good. And 6 in favor, unanimous. So we have the consent agenda. Is there any item that someone would like to remove from the consent agenda? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve consent calendar for consent agenda.
Second.
Call. And you may vote. And it also passes unanimously. All right, we move on to possible upcoming action items, and the first one is to consider, would be to consider Wisconsin English Language Development Standings Recommendation. Any comments from either side, from this side or the administration, in terms of the proposal?
Sounds like we've been doing part of it already, 2020 version, so now we're just formally adopting that. Is that one of the lessons? Okay.
We're just giving everybody exercise.
I know. So the 2020 version, like so many of our standards, it's kind of a slow rollout. It's a 3-year implementation. So they were released in May of 2020 with the goal that districts would slowly start to implement, and then during this school year would be the year that we would be fully implementing them and using them for our language plans as our teachers are learning those for the kids. If you had a chance to look at the presentation, you would notice that the standards themselves pretty much stay the same, but there's some added features within there that are really helpful for our teachers. Just some added language, really focused on grade level clusters. So I think it just provides a little bit more direction for our teachers as they're writing those language plans for our kids.
Thank you. Anything else for Chrissy?
I will stay here since the next item is mine as well.
So that's the Agri-Science elective credit request.
I don't know if you have any questions about it. The reason for the request is our newly hired aid teacher actually is science certified as well, which is a benefit because that allows us to be able to offer some of our aid classes that were previously offered for elective science credit to be offered once again. And essentially that also helps to grow our aid program while also offering more opportunities for our students who are looking to potentially move into a career in that field while also providing some of those credit opportunities for them as well. We did put it in for an action because in the course book last year we had to take that out because our previous aid teacher was not science certified. So the request would be to be able to offer that again this year.
All right, then.
So it is an action item currently, not an info item?
It is currently
Possible.
possible upcoming, so we'll get it next month.
But we did start offering these courses already for the 2023-2024 school year, right, as these credits.
They're not listed as elective science credits currently.
Oh, okay.
This recommendation would be to be able to do that. So when
It would be retroactive, right? Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, good.
Good. That takes us to superintendent reports.
And our updates just around opportunities to connect with legislators. We'll have the legislative breakfast coming up this year. We'll get that information out to you. And then opportunities, I think do we still have the rooms or do we close on the rooms? That's coming up here for January.
Correct, right. The state convention, we have a block of 5 hotel rooms. If anybody's interested in spending the night, I do have 4 of those rooms spoken for already. So there is still one available. It is, we are required to have a 3-night minimum. All hotels in the area during convention time do that. So it would be starting on Wednesday night, I believe, when the room are available. But anybody who would want to just come down and not spend the evening, I can, or the overnight, I can register you as well. So you don't have to spend the night time. So yeah, so that's still available.
And how long will it be available? Registration, of course.
Registration is anytime. Registration is not open yet. I haven't seen, but I think we have the block until early December. I'll have to
A little bit of time, yeah.
Maybe a little bit of time, yeah.
Okay. Next week I'll be at the fall Student Superintendent Conference in Madison, and that's always an opportunity on Wednesday. Over lunch we go down and get to hear the state of the state of education. So I'll be able to participate in that. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right. We'll move on to teaching and learning reports. So we have the assessment timeline for the year. Any comments or questions about the assessment timeline?
This looks like it's pretty standard. Everything seems like it's been.
But I appreciate seeing this. Nice to be able to keep track of what's going on. And curriculum department highlights. Any comments for Chrissy or questions for Chrissy?
Act 20, that was new to me. What types of things do we need to do to fulfill that requirement?
Yeah, there's lots of information being released about that, and it is getting a lot of attention right now. Basically, it is an act coming down from the state of Wisconsin, just outlining various requirements that districts will need to uphold in an effort to try to raise scores of literacy. So we are learning lots and working with our local CISA agency to provide the training that is required. We're really fortunate because we started 2 years ago actually with our literacy audit that we had done and joined the Early Literacy Academy. And the work that we've done through that academy actually is approved as part of this Act 20, which is great news for us. Other districts are somewhat scrambling to figure out how they are going to, be in compliance with that act. So lots of information still to come. It's a very lengthy act if you look at the details of it. And again, we're really just getting into the nuts and bolts of what districts will need to do in order to be compliant with that. I will be attending a meeting actually next Friday at CISA with Joe Pullman-Becker to get more information about that, and we'll bring that forward as we continue. So stay tuned.
Kudos to getting ahead of it.
Yeah, we are excited.
Yeah.
We're really happy to hear and in anticipation for all the work that we've done so far. So.
Will any of this be funded by the state, or are these unfunded mandates?
There are some funds that districts can utilize. In fact, we are using some of it as well for training, but a lot of it will fall to the districts in order to do that. It even goes as far as determining like resources and things, or having parameters for resources that should be utilized in order to meet and be in compliance. So there's a lot coming up.
I'm curious.
Do they have a timeline of implementation? Or is that still being?
Yeah, I think it's still kind of being hashed out. Most often, it's usually like a 3-year timeline. Again, they present the information and the districts typically have 2 to 3 years to be in compliance with it. So.
I'm just curious, is there ever any discussion of mathematics? Because on an absolute level, the performance in mathematics is a whole lot worse than the literacy performance across the state. And as we move into the future, it becomes more and more important to be able to deal with mathematical things. Is anybody worried about it that you ever deal with?
Nothing that has been fully released. Typically, the sequence is that literacy is looked at first, followed closely by math. So I would anticipate that we will be looking at that again. And I agree, math, we used to be, as a state, we had performed high in math, and we are starting to see that slip a little bit, especially after COVID and, still removing from the effects of that. So I anticipate it's coming, but right now the focus is definitely on literacy.
Thank you.
And I'm thankful it's not both at the same time.
Can I jump to another related topic?
Sure.
Talk about math. It's related to the 21st Century Community Learning Center report. There's a section that talks about progress towards goals and objectives. And it talks about programs will develop youth as learners. And one is, by June of each year, at least 80% of frequent attendees in grade 1 will be secure in their ability to demonstrate fluency in addition and subtraction within 10. So, I don't know what that meant, within 10. And then we're at 52% apparently. And same is true for like second grade. This news to you, or do you know what that means?
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with all of the goals that are outlined within that learning center report. I would assume that that's probably related to our standards, to our math standards is where Nancy probably pulled that from. Are you looking for clarification, Andy, on what that?
We can look into that, Andy.
Yeah, I'm curious what that
Sure.
goal is, and then what we're doing to address it, I guess.
And that's for just a section of our policy that we're just cross-section, I don't even know if it's cross-section, but it's a particular section of the student body.
People participating, yeah.
So I can see where that could be lower maybe than the whole, I don't know.
yeah, I'd have to look at that and to see if it's a particular standard that she's referencing, or without looking at the report, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I just
But I
read
can
this
look at
afternoon,
that,
so
sure.
I shouldn't have asked earlier. Thank you.
Carrie? Since we've gone through all the action items, I'm just going to pretend you're not here. All right, so, but feel free to ask questions. The general fund interim budget report, any comments or questions for Jonah? Or anything you want to hear about from him? All right. Preliminary enrollment report for this year. Comments or questions?
Don't like the numbers.
Pardon?
Don't like the numbers, they keep going down.
You said that was a trend though statewide, right, Jonah? That, I mean,
Yeah, I think it's over 70% of school districts now. 5 years ago, I think it was 60% of school districts had declining enrollment. Now it's over 70%. And yeah, we're declining. A lot of it is our online schools.
Can we have the mic for anyone?
Didn't have too much more to say, but but the online school is getting a little smaller. Not super. I think they dropped to about 20 students. And then, but one thing that was kind of nice to see was that we were anticipating just about as many 4K students as we got when we combined the AdvoCap class with our district, so that we were no longer having a separate entity, have one of our 4K sections. So we pretty much did exactly what we wanted to with that, and so our 4K number is up 17 students. Not that that will be higher in 5-year-old kindergarten, because those kids would have joined our district in 5-year-old kindergarten, so that they were with AdvoCap in 4K previously. So yeah, like Andy said, it's not great news, but it's just where we're at. So
what districts, like what of the 30% that aren't losing enrollment, or is that just more fluid where it's different districts every time that when they're measuring? So, if 30% haven't lost enrollment, is that the same districts over time that are trending with, enrollments aren't declining? And do we know, is that more city or is it?
yeah, I think, yeah, my parents moved to Madison area, and they said that in the nation, Madison has the highest real estate growth, I guess, out of 100 metropolitan areas. And so anyways, the Madison area is growing.
Okay.
People are
Suburbs,
relocating there.
Yeah.
Verona, Oregon.
I have a son that lives there, and it's just crazy with buildings there. So it's the migration of.
Is there anybody growing up in this area? I mean, it used to be they were growing on the west side of Highway 41. Are they still growing? I mean, just across the highway, not very far.
This, I really don't know. This isn't something I don't really, I look at a lot of things, but this is not one thing I look at. So I don't know.
You can't speculate on population growth and trends for the state of Wisconsin right now, Jonah, but why not?
I'd be willing to bet Little Chute is shrinking.
Hortonville, some of those.
Hortonville is growing
Yes,
for a long time.
Kimberly continues to grow. Kimberly continues to grow. If some of the other valley schools in that ring
Yeah.
continue to grow, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Jonah.
Yeah.
School operations reports. Any comments on any of the 5?
We're back after our break over the summer with our reports, so it's nice to see you again.
Great. We'll go through this slowly, so if anything occurs to you, feel free. It's not that I'm going through it slowly, it's just the computer doesn't want to go fast. We have the charter school annual reports. Any comments or questions about the Barlow Park Charter Journey Quest Odyssey?
There's a lot of information, and a lot to understandably, a yearly report. It was interesting, and especially with Odyssey, there was a lot.
And we have the 21st Century Community Learning Center 22-23 report.
Andy, as I look at that goal, I wonder if it would be clear if it would have been written up to the number 10.
Yeah, that's.
Because it's first grade,
That's what they were
addition,
talking
subtraction
about.
up to the number 10, and
Yeah.
second grade, addition and subtraction up to the number 20.
That's what
And I
was
sent a
thinking
quick
about
text
it.
Yeah.
message to Nancy to see if she clarified.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm guessing is the goal.
Okay.
That maybe instead of within it, maybe up to it and clearer.
Mhm.
That's what I'm guessing. Is that what you're?
Absolutely, yeah. Do we get this every year, this 21st Century Community Learning Center report?
The update.
Okay.
Is this the grade
Yes.
grade program?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so I thought it was, but then I thought we're going to miss something that.
It's not very
additional,
direct. Yeah.
As it was instituted here a while back.
Mhm.
So I kind of assumed it, but I wasn't.
And that takes us to the end. We are ready to convene closed session for one item of business. Could I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
So sad.
Ms. Nicole?
But I forgot to be honest.
And I'll call for a vote. And you are all excused.